Alright, and this is looking good, but I think I need to move my alien a little bit to my right, just a bit. And perfect. I think this is the shot. This is how I want it. Alright, so now I want to get a little bit more creative. It looks really good, but I think if it will look a lot better if we add some edge light to both characters. So I'm going to go ahead and add this Lume Q light to my left. And I'm going to also add another one to my right. My left light is going to be at 5600 Kelvin, and my right light I added a gel to keep it warm. I believe it's about 3200 Kelvin. And I'm adjusting my background just so I can get rid of that gray on the background. Not very important because I'm going to turn off the lights. Alright, so this is my setup. I have my custom made light using as a key light, and then I have my two Lume Q lights. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my room light. And this is what we got. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture just to have a clean picture with no fog, no mist. Next, I'm going to turn on my Lume Q lights to create some edge lights or hair light. And let's go ahead and take a picture now with the lights on. Alright, and next, I'm going to use for the first time a small little steamer that I bought on Amazon. Super excited about this. I think it's going to add a drastic look to the image. So thank you all Instagram collectors. You inspire me to do this. Alright, and the step I'm going to do now, you don't have to do this necessarily, but I like to do it sometimes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove Isaac from the picture. And right now what I want to do is I want to take an individual picture of the alien. I want to do this because that way I can focus my light on the alien. And that's what I'm going to do now instead of the whole picture. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take an individual picture of Isaac. So I'm going to remove later on the alien. And undigging this, and let's go ahead and add the steamer. Alright, so we're done with that picture. That looks great. And now we're going to get our superstar and we're going to put him back. And now we're going to go ahead and take alien out of the picture. And now we're going to go ahead and adjust our lighting for Isaac. This is the only reason why I'm taking the picture separate, so that way I can individually lit him up. And we're going to add a little bit of steam, and this is what it looks like. Alright, and let's go ahead and take a picture. Alright, and moving on, now we're going to go ahead and select our favorite images. In this case, I'm going to select 3. This is my first image. This is my second image. And this is my third image that we might use towards the end, not now. And moving on, let's go ahead and start with this one with my first image, and we're going to go ahead and rename all my layers. And now I'm going to go ahead and select the magnetic lasso tool, and we want to select the top part of Isaac. Let's not worry about details at the moment because we're going to go ahead later on and select the lasso tool and get all the details. All right, and now we move on with our lasso tool. So now we're gonna go ahead and get all the small little details. So details are important, so make sure you get those details, because later on, if you want to blow up this picture, especially if you have a 4K TV, you're gonna be able to see all these little details. Or if you print it on a canvas or any prints. So make sure we get all the details. This is a part that might take a little bit of time, but I think is very important. So now, for the most part, I think the magnetic lasso tool did a really good job, except the parts that are a little bit blurry, like the weapon right here. Since there is a little bit of a blurriness here done on purpose, so that way we can create some depth. The magnetic lasso tool had a little bit of a hard time capturing the edges here, so I knew that was going to happen, so that's why I went around it really quick. And now with the lasso tool, it's a little bit time consuming, but you will get the details. All right, so once we're done selecting Isaac, we want to go ahead and sometimes you may have to invert the selection, sometimes you don't have to, but what we're going to do is we're going to create a mask. So once we take care of that, then we're going to go ahead and do another selection of the alien. So we created a mask for Isaac, and now we're going to go ahead and do something else, a different selection for the alien, everything we want to keep from the alien. And in this case, we're going to do another mask before and after. So we're good. So now let's go ahead and select our airbrush. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and blend this alien scene with the Isaac, the dead space layer. And you want to continue to use your mask here, because if you want to go back, you can always go back with the mask. If you actually do this on the actual image, then it's going to be a little bit tough. Alright, so I think this blends really good. Now I notice that we still need to work on the arm and also on the head of the alien. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and close out the main layer, and so that way we can see the whole picture here, and select the alien's arm. Again, we did this really quick with the magnetic lasso tool. Now we want to go back with the lasso tool and get all these small little details. I'm selecting right now using the original image, but then I'm going to go back to the mask, and this is where I make the magic happen. You can do this by cutting it out, or you can use the airbrush with the black or the white color. The same thing right here inside the weapon. Make sure you get all those details. Details are important. And now we're going to work with the, I guess the spikes or the antennas of the aliens. They look like antennas right here. So we're going to go ahead and work with this. Again, we're using the magnetic lasso tool. We're not so worried about the detail yet, but then we're going to go ahead and switch to our lasso tool, and then we get all the details. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and remove my hand. I'm going to go ahead and mask this out as well. And I'm also going to duplicate my two main layers just to make a backup. I'm going to go ahead and put them in a folder. I'm going to go ahead and rename this folder original layers, just in case I need to go back. Now I'm going to go ahead and select my blur tool, and what I want to do is I want to go ahead and blur out a little bit. I want to blur out alien a little bit, just just so I can create some depth between Isaac and the alien. Okay, I'm happy with that. And now I'm going to go ahead and introduce my third image. My third image, what I really want to use from here is some of the mist in the background, not everything. So I'm going to go ahead, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and merge my two main layers. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this new third image underneath that dead space layer. I'm going to go ahead and create a mask. And what I want to go ahead and do is play a little bit with the airbrush and see if I can add some of the elements of the mist and the fogs from that other image, which I think it looks really nice. Cool, I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to go ahead and merge my images. Now what I want to do is I want to create a solid color. Let's go ahead and create a black solid color. In fact, you know what? I'm going to create another solid color, but I'm going to select a sample of the original black that I have on this image. So I'm going to go ahead and take a sample, and we're going to use this one instead of the solid black. I think it'll blend a little bit much better. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and select our main layer again. We're going to create a mask, and now what we want to do is we want to get rid of things that we don't want in the picture. So right here in the foreground, some of this is too bright, not interested, I don't want it in the picture. We also have to get rid of the tripods, so let's go ahead and get rid of the tripods. That's looking good. Perfect. And now we're going to select our patch tool, and we're going to use this so we can get rid of that spotlight, that bright light on the right and also on the left, just to make it blend a little bit. We're going to go back to our brush and using our mask and blend this mist a little bit more with the background. I'm liking this, looking good. And now what I want to do is I want to go back and I want to select the blur tool, and I want to work with the edges on Isaac. Some of the edges, you can tell the difference. It looks more like a montage. So we want to go ahead and get rid of those sharp details on the edges and make it blend with the background. So that's what we're doing here. It's hard to tell where I am, but right now I'm working with the alien. And here we go, and I just noticed a little error right there, a little mistake right here on one of the spikes on the alien. So we're going to go ahead and select the stamp tool, and we're going to go ahead and fix that. And now we're going to go ahead and go back to our lasso tool and continue to fix some of these imperfections from the alien. I'm going to go ahead and select my pen tool as well to make this a little bit more looking better. There we go. And I'm using a combination right here of the pen tool and the stamp tool. And then we'll go back to our blur tool and blur it out a little bit. And now we move on with Isaac's helmet. I think it needs a little bit of help. The battery on the LED light, I think it was a little bit low in battery. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit brighter and maybe a little bit smooth so it looks more natural than just a toy. So I'm selecting every little window from his helmet. And now I'm going to go ahead and select the select everything and select the airbrush. Creating a new layer so that way I don't work on the original layer, and we're just going to play with the airbrush here. So let's select, sample the color and play with it, see what we can do here. It already looks much better, looks really good, perfect. And now I think I'm going to go ahead and add an effect. I want to go ahead and make it glow a little bit. So right here I'm just gonna mess with the settings and hopefully get something really nice. So nothing is specific here that I'm doing on purpose. Right now I'm just playing with all the settings because Photoshop has too many settings. And the winner is
And
So I'm just playing around here to get something that feels good to my eyes, something that I feel satisfied with. And let's continue to work with this before and after. All right, and I dig this. This looks really nice. And now I want to add a little bit of reflection from, I believe this is supposed to be some kind of screen on his chest. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the pen tool and we're going to select this little screen. And then make sure you create a new layer before doing this. And now we're going to select our airbrush, inverse the selection, and add an overlay blend. You can play with the different blends here and see what works. Okay, I'm liking this, looking good. And maybe I can change the opacity a little bit here so it's not too bright. And here is our image. I think this looks really nice. All right, and this is our final image. Let's save it.
alright guys, and we're back. Hope you enjoyed that video. A couple of things that I wanted to mention before we move on. The main question that I think some people may ask me, why did you separate the figures? Honestly, you don't have to separate the figures when you're taking the pictures. In fact, it makes it more complicated. I actually made it more complicated than what it was. The cool thing of taking the pictures the way I did is that now I have Isaac by himself, so if I want to edit the picture and just have Isaac by himself, I can do that, and maybe I can just add something else in the background, which is really cool. Or if I want to have the alien by itself, then I have that picture. So you can do it either way. It doesn't matter. I don't know what I was thinking when I was doing this, but I went the long way. You can actually go the short way, and you don't have to go through that process. Okay. Second, once you're done with Photoshop, you can actually go back on Photoshop, and if you want to work with the shadows, the highlights, the color balance and all that, you can actually do that and give it a better look on that image. In fact, that's exactly what I did. The pictures I posted on Instagram, that's exactly what I did. So let me show you here really quick. Here's a before and here's an after. Alright guys, and that is it for today. I want to go ahead and congratulate the winner. You know who you are if you watched the whole video. So if you don't know if you are the winner, make sure to watch the whole video to find out if you are the winner. Very important, if you don't claim the prize within the next 2 weeks, I'm going to draw a second name. So make sure to claim your prize. Other than that, I want to thank each and every one of you that participated on this giveaway. If you didn't win this time, don't worry. I'm going to do another giveaway. Who knows, maybe when I get to 1,500 subscribers, and it's going to be a big giveaway. So make sure to stay tuned. And also, I'm very curious to know if you like this video. Do you like more tutorials or do you prefer for me to do more action figure reviews? Let me know in the comments below. I'm very interested in knowing. So anyway guys, that's it for today, and I will see you guys next week. Take care guys. Bye.